Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Steelers Sanctuary podcast. I'm your host, Dave Ribeiro from SteelersSanctuary.com, and this is my co-host, David Coro. David, how you feeling so far tonight?
Oh my dude. Wow, this is rough. This is rough.
Yeah, I know I predicted a blowout, but I didn't quite see it this badly. I think when I say 41-20.
Yeah, you were wrong. It was worse.
Yeah, they didn't even sniff 20. They didn't even sniff 10 for crying out loud. It's bad.
They didn't sniff 4.
Oh, God.
Good Lord. That was so horrendous to watch. Bro. So when we right off the bat, right? When we got them, they had the ball on the 1, right? And our defense on 3rd and 10. And I'm like, oh my God, this is great. We're gonna get great field position. I'm like, anything could happen right now. This is bad for them. And I saw Minkah creep up to the line of scrimmage, and I'm like, wait, it's 3rd and 10. What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know if I like this, bro. I saw Josh Allen drop back, and just let that ball go. And the first thing in my head popped was somebody's wide open, and yeah, just gone. I was just like,
Man,
3rd and 10, and you had Minkah on the line of scrimmage.
It's like we knew what we were talking about, right? We talked about in the last podcast, Minkah can't be the spy because you can't leave him at the line of scrimmage not doubling somebody. And Sure enough, that's what they kind of tried, and they got freaking burnt right off the bat. Oh, God. Let's start with the Mike Tomlin press conference. We should start with the injuries. There was a couple of serious ones. Larry Ogunjobi with his back, he didn't finish the game. He went out in the second quarter. We didn't see him much anymore. Cam Sutton re-aggravated that hamstring. He went out. Levi Wallace and Pat Freiermuth both with concussions. Now, this is Pat Freiermuth's 3rd concussion since he's been in the NFL. So that's very concerning. You don't want a guy with multiple concussions because that can go down a bad path. Not good news on the injury front to go along with all the other bad news.
No, they're dropping like flies, dude.
Man.
Sutton went back out of the game again with a hamstring or whatever. Soft tissue injuries, they're a funny injury, man.
Especially the hamstring.
Yes, you can't rush that shit back.
No.
And some of these guys, I know, I get it, but you can't rush them because when you rush it, it's going to take one way. You turn one way, and you're going to feel it, and you're going to be back to square one.
Yep.
That's why I was kind of surprised Sutton played, because Witherspoon's out another game too because of a hamstring, right?
Yep.
So hamstring, groin, any of those soft tissue injuries, usually guys have to sit out a good 2 or 3 games before that shit's right again.
Yeah, I think maybe they were desperate because they had so many injuries.
Right.
In the second half, we saw James Pierre, Josh Jackson, Elijah Riley out there. It was like somebody put it on Twitter. It was like the 3rd preseason game. It was just the end of a preseason game was so bad. So
it was the Twilight Zone. It was we're in another dimension, and it's a different Steelers team out there on defense. It was fucking horrible. Dude, I didn't picture this. I really didn't. Hell, I picked them. I picked the fucking points. I thought they would get within 14. I really did. And oh my God, no.
I was telling people before this game that people were talking themselves into the Steelers being competitive and maybe even winning this game. And there was no way. And all that damage was done before the injuries too. So we can't blame the injuries for why the Steelers ended up getting lumped in this game. Josh Allen had 400 yards and 4 touchdowns at half.
Yeah.
So we can't blame, Levi Wallace and going out. They did their damage.
For the record, I had them losing by 11. Just to be clear, I didn't think they're going to win. I had them losing by 11. That was the official prediction from me. I was
close. They lost by 35.
11 times 3. But oh wow. But that whole sequence in the beginning of the game already had me at a 10. My level of stress shot from 0 to 10. First, we botched the 3rd and 10, and then next thing I know, Pierre's out there trying to catch the ball, doesn't come close to catching the fucking ball. And they're saying Sims' eyeball got whatever. I'm like, what? Like,
And then he ends up playing 3 plays later in offense.
Yeah, I
That
saw
whole
it. I'm like, what the
whole
fuck
sequence
is going
fucking
on?
bizarre. And then he returned the rest of the kicks for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Some of the decisions this coaching staff makes is beyond moronic. I just don't understand what they're thinking. Like, oh, he's got a dinged eye. All right, he can play receiver, but he can't play. He has trouble seeing the ball, but he can see it as a receiver. What are we talking about here?
Like, I don't know if like they thought he was like really fucked up. So they're like, okay, you can't go out there. And then all of a sudden he was like, hey, I'm good to go now, or what? Somebody said he got an eye patch over his eye right now.
Oh my God. I don't even know.
Guy goes into the game. Next thing you know, he's coming out. He's a fucking pirate. He's got a fucking eye patch now. Like,
listen, you can catch kicks with an eye patch. You put a guy in there who's hasn't returned a kick in God knows how long. What do you think's going to happen on a windy day?
He shouldn't be. Pierre shouldn't be back there. Period.
No,
you've got 6 goddamn wide receivers.
That's a good point too.
You chose a corner to go out there, bro. Like, think about that. We have guys. We got guys we are paying $18 million a year to be a fucking wide receiver. We got guys that we drafted high in the 2nd round to be wide receivers. You chose Pierre to go the fuck out there and catch that ball. This is insane. Moronic, like you said. You said moronic. That is the word, moronic. And I don't know who made that call. Like, I don't know. Look, there are so many times today I yelled the words, fire everyone. Everyone.
We all did, buddy. We all did.
Like, oh my God. But to start the game, literally the first 2 minutes, I was already at a 10 stress level. Like, what just happened? First, it was 3rd and 10, and now they're about to go up. But at the time, I thought they were going to go up 14-0 within 2 minutes of the game starting.
Almost, yeah.
And we somehow blocked the fucking field goal. Look at me. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted.
It was.
I fell asleep on the couch after the game. I was exhausted. Like, I was just like, oh, this is so bad. And dude. But those first 2 minutes, I was just like, oh my, it's a clown show already. It's already a clown show.
I mean, well, this is what we've come to expect now. Mike Tomlin coach teams are not prepared, especially on the road for some reason. They just come out in these games and they look fucking confused, like they've never been on the field with this kind of team before. We talk about this all the time, and then we see it. Well, let's just get right into the coaching. You see it again. Robert fucking Spillane split out wide covering Diggs. What are we doing? Someone said, well, the Steelers corners don't travel. So if someone goes out wide, that linebacker's going to go out wide. Travel your corner. Do whatever you have to do to not have Spillane covering Diggs on the boundary.
Like,
you come up with a defense that has that principle. It's flawed. It's dumb. It should never happen. Stop it.
We've been seeing this for I think we've been seeing this now for 3 years, haven't we? Wasn't it that one game? It was wasn't it the Chargers game where they had Vinny covering Allen or some shit? I don't know.
These teams know by formation, Dave. They set up by formation, and they know they can get the Steelers to move their linebackers out to cover wide receivers. They know how to do it, and certain coaches do, and Buffalo did. And it's just not that they needed to, because the Steelers secondary was horrendous anyway.
Garbage. Yeah.
If the Steelers secondary was playing well, they probably would have tried more of that with Spillane outside, but they didn't have to. We'll get to Matt Canada on the offense in a minute, but the defensive game plan, the defensive coaching on this team is awful. They need to do something, and they need to do something now. It's bad. I don't know how you fix it. I don't know what we talked about it. Fire somebody, do something, because this isn't working.
The problem is, especially on the defensive side, no one's getting fired because it's Tomlin still running the motherfucking defense. Like, the guy admitted last week that he didn't talk to Pickett about that interception because he was too busy managing, and I quote, managing the defense for the next drive. As soon as I heard that, and you heard it, we both thought the same thing. This guy's still running the goddamn defense. Why? You have Terrell Austin. You have Brian Flores. You fucking brought this guy in. Like, why the fuck did you do it if you're still going to run the fucking defense? Dude, I I'm dumbfounded. This is a $70+ million defense. It's the highest paid defense in the league, correct?
Yes, it is.
And it look, you're telling me, and like, don't get me wrong, I know TJ Watt is a generational player. He is fucking amazing. I get it. But you're telling me that one guy on the highest paid defense in the fucking league, that one guy can be taken out, and that there's this much of a drop off, like this much of a drop off,
Dave, I
over the
tweeted
course
at one point.
of the last 4 games.
Yeah,
like
I tweeted at one point.
I just
think about it. If they don't ever draft TJ Watt, is Mike Tomlin still the head coach here? Because he covers up so much of the sins, like I said before, of this defense, that he makes Mike Tomlin look like a decent play caller. Because when he's gone, they're 0-8 without TJ Watt on the field. That was a stat that they brought out today. 0-8. Because he covers up everything. And when he's not there, Tomlin's exposed. He's an awful play caller. He's an awful defensive schemer. They have no clue. You go into this game with a banged up secondary like they have. Aren't you playing soft zone and praying for bend but don't break like we talked about? No, yes. He's blitzing. He blitzed on that first touchdown.
Yeah.
With Norwood as the starting safety, who's not really, this is what I'm telling you. If like I said, if they don't draft TJ Watt in the first round, I don't know if Mike Tomlin's still here.
I don't know what to think.
They probably have the worst defense in the league the last 5 years.
Right. And dude, like I said, just all the money spent, all the draft capital spent. Like, good Lord, what are we doing here?
I'm done. I'm out on Mike Tomlin as the defensive coach. I think he can be a good head coach. A good head coach if he's got good coordinators. We don't even know what Austin is as a coordinator.
It only worked when it was LeBeau and Arians and him.
Yeah, because they were both top of the food chain coordinators.
Yep. And
he could do his thing. Be the CEO.
He was the motivator.
Yep.
He was that kind of stuff that he is the top notch in.
Yeah.
And
he's a football guy. He knows his football, but he is not X's and O's, strategize, put us in a position to win coach. He's just not that guy.
Nope.
And it shows.
And I just think back to then. With them, they were going to Super Bowls, and now they're a joke. Like, honestly, and I hate to say that, they're a fucking joke.
I hate to keep bringing it up, but the defense keeps letting them down in the playoffs year after year. They get blown the fuck out every year.
Yep.
That's because you're playing playoff teams with good head coaches, with good offenses, and they get exposed for their shitty game plans and their shitty schemes. Now we can flip over to Matt Canada because...
Well, I was getting ready to say, Art Rooney's got to fucking step in here. He's got to step in because I am so goddamn sick of watching this Matt Canada fucking offense.
It's bad.
I want to scratch my eyeballs out. Dude, so we're moving the ball, right? Like Kenny's thrown, we're moving the chains, first downs. And it was like, okay, we get the ball back I think it was the second quarter, we get the ball back. And all of a sudden it's run up the gut with Najee. Run up the gut with Najee. Third and like 8. Now we got to try to get a first down.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So then next drive, run up the gut with Najee. I'm like, wait a second here. Wait a second. What is going on? Like we're throwing the ball. We're doing really well. What are you doing? Why are you taking Kenny essentially out of the game? And Naj has no burst. None. Like that. I don't know what happened to him. He's indecisive. He has no burst. He's slow as fuck out there. Yeah. Like, I don't know what's going on. He's not healthy. And here's what blows my mind more than anything. You have a running back that obviously is not 100% right now. So what do? You force feed him the fucking ball. Essentially take your best quarterback on the team out of the fucking game with his arm and your wide receivers to just keep running it up the gut. Like it made no sense to me. I saw Buffalo, as soon as the Steelers walked up to the line of scrimmage, I saw all them guys load the box. They're like, we know what you're doing.
Predictable.
They knew. And I mean, next thing you know, Najee's 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage on his fucking back. Yeah. It was just like, it was ridiculous. And it was the same thing over and over and over again. And I'm sitting there like, why did he stop throwing the ball? Like, it was literally, I swear to God, it was like he was sabotaging the fucking offense on purpose.
No, he's got his game plan and he sticks to it. And we talk about it, no adjustments. This is my game plan. I'm sticking with it.
And then they don't have like routes to like really go down the field. Like, if you notice, every one of their routes is like a button hook, or it's always one of a curl. It's always one of them. There's none of these slants, none of these posts, none of these fly routes. There's none of them, dude. It's
his
like,
offense
what?
Is terrible. It's awful.
Like, what is this? There's teams know there's no threat of them going like deep, like real deep.
Yep.
There's no threat of it. So they stack the box. They know as long as they stack the box or just spread out in the area, they're good.
Yep.
Like, I just, my God, this is horrendous. Dude, to go into Cincinnati and beat them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then turn around and lose 4 games in a row because you continue to do the same shit over and over and over again. I don't even know what to say. Like
both sides of the ball too. It's offense and defense.
Yes.
They're predictable on both sides.
They're so predictable. They do the same shit. And then when they do try new shit, it's the dumbest shit you've ever heard of. 3rd and 10, let's put Minkah on the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense.
We talked about it. It's like you need him back there to prevent one. It's just, and he's not 100%. I tweeted that out during the game. You could tell there was a guy running away from him. Nobody runs away from Minkah. He's fast. So he's not 100% either. Even more reason to keep him a little deeper and give him a chance to keep a lid on things. I don't know, man. This team.
But
I wrote this a couple of years ago, and I've been thinking about it a lot lately. You're Art Rooney, okay? David Tepper, the owner of the Carolina Panthers, comes to you and offers you a boatload of shit for Mike Tomlin in a trade. Do you take it? There's 2 questions. Would you take it, and do you think Art Rooney would ever do it? Let me give it J.C. Horn, their starting corner, very good corner, and a couple first-round picks.
Oh, see, that's where you get me. When you say the first-round picks, I'm like, see, here's the thing.
I would do it.
Well, you and I would probably do it.
Yeah, and this is with the caveat that
you had me at the word first round. The words first round. As soon as I heard that, I was like, "Yep, yeah, I'm taking that," because I'm gonna go find a young, offensive-minded genius.
Yes,
make him the fucking head football coach, and then I'm gonna fire all these fucking idiots.
Yes, everybody, clean house.
Yeah, gone, and then we're gonna start building a championship team with these first-round draft picks.
The first-round picks and build around Pickett and Pickens.
That's where I think that's why we're having so many struggles, and it's just so hard.
I might be. My frustration level is at 11, so I'm like
Tomlin. I get it. He's never had a losing season. I understand that. Okay,
but is that because of Ben Roethlisberger or because of him? Now
I don't know. I don't know. I look. All I'm saying is that is so great. That is awesome. And like, look, man, after I watched that thing with him and Ryan Clark and those guys from that show, like I was like, this dude's an amazing football coach. But my God, what we've gotten to here with this team, this isn't the standard, man. This is so below the standard. Like
Ryan Clark tweeted it today. Did you see his tweet?
I did.
This is not the football coach I'm used to seeing. This team wasn't ready to play. Blah, blah, blah.
And but you and I would make that trade, but Art Rooney won't do it. Art ain't gonna fucking do it.
And it's not unprecedented either because John Gruden got traded from
but Art
a couple first round picks.
Because
Art doesn't have the stones to do it.
Because Daddy and Granddad and all them, they didn't do it, and so it ain't gonna happen. So
be your own man. Make a splash. Take this organization in a different direction because this isn't working.
But
they haven't won a playoff game in 10 years. This is not working. It's not working.
Do you know of many? Let's see how to put this. Well, I'll tell you what. The head coach for the Bills, Duval, right? Duval.
The Giants. He was the Bills. He was the Bills' offensive coordinator. Now he's the Jets. Giants.
Okay, who's the head coach for the Bills right now?
McDermott. Yeah.
Was McDermott offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator? I thought he's defensive.
He's a defensive guy.
Okay.
He's a
All right.
defensive guy. But he had Brian Daboll, who was a good offensive coordinator, got this thing started.
Right. So he did it the smart way. He went and found his offensive genius,
Yes.
out there to run the offense. Okay. Yeah. We don't have that.
No.
And we have a defensive-minded head coach on top of that. Mind you, stuck in his ways, it seems like. Yeah. Like, it seems like there's some things, So I honestly think they've got to get – what we're saying is never going to happen. They're not going to trade Mike Tomlin. Okay. But two, I say fire Canada, and they need to pay a premium and go get someone out there and bring them in. And I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Like, they got to go get someone and spend some real money here. They have to. We can't keep doing this. You're next in line. You're right down the hallway there. You go be the offensive coordinator. What is this, Oprah? You get offensive coordinator. You get offensive. Everybody gets to be the offensive coordinator. You just got to get your foot in the door. Like, so man, fuck that.
Yeah. If they fire Matt Canada, who do you think is going to take his place? The quarterback.
Currently
yeah.
Sullivan. Yep. Sullivan's got OC experience. He was stepped in and BOC with the Giants back in the day.
Yeah, I don't want
that. Was it?
I don't want that. I want somebody outside the organization. I want somebody with some fresh ideas.
No. I'm saying that's who they will pick.
Yeah,
they will.
That's what I'm saying too. They're going to pick him, and they shouldn't.
Yeah,
they're going to make the same mistake again.
Yeah, for the rest of this season. But I mean, who the hell are they going to go get?
Mean, even if they fire Canada at the end of the season, I still bet you that Sullivan becomes the offensive coordinator. I'd be willing to bet anything on it.
Oh no! Do you mean
that's the way they do business? Yeah, that's the way they do business,
bro.
That's the way they do it. You just said it. Next man up, right? I'm telling you.
I mean,
I could see this coming a mile away, dude. And then he's going to struggle, and we're in this constant cycle of mediocrity. And it's never going to change unless somebody steps up.
They would do that with a third guy in a row. Like,
they will. I have no doubts. I have no doubt.
My only thing is what's that?
What's today? October 8th, 9th? October 9th, I predicted it. Pat Sullivan, 2023 offensive coordinator. God help us all. I don't know who they'd go after though. Like you said, you better go find somebody from that tree of the Rams and all that. Yep. Yeah, so I don't know, man, but bringing a guy in that has nothing but been fired by everybody. Yeah,
I just don't know where they thought
got this job in the first. I don't know how. I don't know.
I think when he was at Pitt, him and Mike
must have
had a good relationship, and that's what this fucking about.
Not
years, not long.
Seasons. Just enough to get Mike Tomlin's attention, and here we
are. For some fucking reason, he liked what he saw, and I don't know, man. We're through 5 games, correct?
Yes.
And is that stat right that we have not had one receiver have a touchdown yet? Is that correct?
Yeah. They didn't have any going today, and they didn't score any touchdowns today. So,
well, I meant through the whole fucking season.
They didn't have any going into today, and they didn't score today, so they still don't have any touchdowns for receivers.
Is that a record? Like, that's got to be a record. To not have one wide receiver score a touchdown, not one.
I think there's been some bad offenses that might have been close to that. I don't know.
We're getting there.
It's mind-blowingly bad. Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, I wrote down in my notes their season high for scoring is 23 points. They've only scored more than 20 points or more 2 out of 5 games. They're averaging 14 points a game through 5 games now. This is not just a short sample size anymore. That's 5 games. You're averaging 14 points in this day and age of football. It's unacceptable. They asked Mike Tomlin today in the press conference if he would consider changing coaches, and he basically said nothing's off the table at this point.
Basically, yeah, I saw that.
He didn't deny it, but he didn't.
And I was like, really?
Yeah, well, that was interesting. He was completely I've never seen him like this in a press conference.
He said, we got smashed.
At least 5 times.
Like, yes, we did.
At least 5 times.
You are correct. We did get smashed.
He was very short and abrupt with these guys. At one point, he's like, come on, man. What are you looking at?
Yeah. Yeah, he was getting mad. I mean, he
Yeah.
would fucking be. I was like,
He's in a
"Whoo,
bad
my
mood,
dude
yeah.
is fucking pissed." Well,
Well, he
some of
should
those
be,
guys,
man.
they ask some questions like,
Of
"What do you
course they
think
do.
he's
Of
gonna
course they do.
say?" Like, come on.
And it's the same group of reporters basically since he got there. So he must be tired of all of them by now. They're all half those guys are knuckleheads anyway. But yeah, all right. God, let's flip over to the defense. Let's do the bad first. The defense. At one point, Gabriel Davis was averaging 80 yards of reception. Finished the game averaging 57. He went 3 for 171.
Hey, it's not a bad average. It's pretty good.
Diggs went over 100. Ugh. This kid Khalil Shakura. I don't follow the Bills that closely. I never even heard of him. He had 2 for 7. Yeah, 2 for 75. James Cook was like a 4th-round pick. He had a 24-yard run for a touchdown. It was like free for all.
Yeah, that Shakura kid. I think he's out of Boise State.
I think you're right now.
When I did my million different mock drafts in the winter, there's a couple times where I would draft him when I was doing the mock draft. I would draft him like the 3rd or 4th round. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, the Steelers let them make stars out of kids that are not even, like have been nobodies this year, really. And it was just like, wow, like I've never. That's the worst I've seen the Steelers shit down their pants in a long time. Yeah. And it was like literally everything went wrong. Defense, offense, special team. How about Boss today? Boss couldn't. It was like he thought he was judging the wind, and there was no wind when he went to kick.
It was a tough day to kick. So why is Mike Tomlin going for field goals down 21, 28
right.
points? What are we doing?
Dude, the first time when they did that, we were down 21. And they didn't go for it. I was like, how is 3 points going to get you any closer? Like, my man talks about not living in his fears.
He invented that phrase, right?
That's all he fucking does is live in his fucking fears. That's all this man does. Please never say that again. How about George Pickens makes another incredible catch today? That was a catch. Tomlin doesn't challenge it.
Doesn't challenge him and his challenges. It's just
like,
a joke
bro,
at this point.
What do you got to lose at this point? Challenge it. Your guy's laying out. It's in the 4th quarter. You're down 30-something points. Your wide receiver is still laying out and making those kind of catches. And you're not going to challenge for him?
Tony Romo was making fun of him at one point. Did
yes.
You hear that?
Dude, Romo was making fun of him the whole fucking game.
Oh, my God.
It's embarrassing. It's fucking embarrassing.
It is.
And Buffalo Bill's Twitter handle was clowning us hard after the game. They made a thing. It shows a terrible towel, and it says "not so terrible." Oh yeah, dude! Like
nobody respects this team anymore.
Nope,
nobody does.
Nobody
fears this team
gives
at all.
Nope. Nobody. We are a fucking joke.
So our worst fears came true today. The secondary is just bad, dude. We were worried about them. They're razor thin. One injury and the whole thing's, Ahkello Witherspoon's out and the whole thing's off the rails. Levi Wallace one-on-one with Diggs was just a freaking mismatch. He's not a good corner. I'm sorry. He's just not. Sutton was injured. I'll give him a pass. He was playing injured. The rest of them, there's no backups. They all stink.
This might sound dumb, but I kind of wondered if they should have brought back Hayden.
I didn't want to bring back Hayden. I'd give my left leg for Hayden right now.
I remember I brought it up a while back. I can't remember. There was a reason. I can't remember if there was an injury. I forget what it was, but I said I wish they would bring Hayden back.
Yeah.
Because for this reason right here. I mean, now they're completely depleted. Like all they have is Wallace. That's it. And Wallace is not meant to be He's not a number one. No. He's not meant to be.
He's barely a 2. Barely.
Correct. Now he did make some good plays today.
But he also got that was a bad ball by Josh Allen, though. He
just threw that up there. Yeah. Dude, you can tell like when people are just arrogant, they're just like, I'm just gonna throw this ball up.
Yep.
And my guy will probably catch it because your guys suck. Like
good way to explain it. He was just arrogant. Yep.
That's what that was. That was an arrogant throw by Josh Allen. But hey, Wallace, good for him. He made a play. He had a couple pass defenses too.
Yeah.
But I also saw him get burnt a couple times as well. He wasn't, he got burnt pretty good a couple times too. But who didn't on that fucking defense? Even Minka got burnt. Yeah. And I don't know how, like that on that touchdown, that was an incredible touchdown. Dude, if you watch it slow mo, Minka got it into his arms, and then somehow that guy, like he busted it back out, and Minka lost it or something, and the guy still because somebody was trying to argue on Twitter that it technically should have been an interception for a touchback by Minka. There was Minka that caught the ball.
He had the ball at one point, but at the end of the play,
they were saying he had the ball when he crossed the goal line.
Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to go back and look at that.
Yeah, I saw something where somebody was saying that technically Minka had possession when they crossed the goal line, so it should have been a touchback.
Interesting.
But whatever, it ended up the other guy had it, so touchdown. But like, just strange shit like that today happened. Just there were so many.
Talked about Norwood took a bad angle, and
it was horrible.
Got beat deep. He took a really bad angle, and he gets just run right by him. Again, Sutton, even Minka playing hurt, so it's not 100%, which calls into question the game plan again. But we won't go over that again. We talked about Josh Allen getting outside the pocket, and sure enough, he did it a couple times, and he just ran. Josh Allen's incredible.
He is.
He's the best quarterback in football right now. I know
he's a hell of a quarterback.
He's unbelievable. Guy's throwing dimes 60 yards down the field, running. You can't stop him. It's just crazy. Alex
his accuracy is really good too. Like some of his throws today were really good.
That was a knock on him coming out of college, and he fixed it completely.
Clearly,
yeah. Asked the Steel secondary. Alex Highsmith MIA again. This is what, 2 games in a row. Well, he didn't even show up.
Well, I was watching closely this one, and he was getting bullied.
Yeah.
He would try a spin move. He tried whatever. He got eaten alive. What happened?
Not good. No sacks at all today. Again.
Leal was getting in the backfield again a couple times.
Leal had a good game. I was just going to bring him up. 2 block passes.
Yep.
Even Cam, I've been giving Cam a hard time.
Yeah.
Cam Hayward, he played pretty well.
Cam did better.
He nailed Josh Allen at one point.
He did.
He had a good hit.
It was almost like when he saw it was Allen who had the ball. It was just like he was just like, "Oh, you're getting slammed." Yeah. Because
he played pretty well.
That's the only thing about guys like Allen. Like, he's kind of like Lamar Jackson. Like they play that dangerous game of instead of sliding, I'm gonna try to mow you over, or that's a dangerous game as a quarterback, man. But that's the difference in these guys. That's why these guys gain that extra yardage because they don't slide. They fucking go all out.
He's a big dude. He must go about 250,
and I think that's why they know they can handle their own.
Yeah.
But one of these times it's gonna nip them in the butt, and they're gonna pay for it.
Oh yeah, they're not gonna last long in the league running like that. There's no way. Devin Bush just sent them on a blitz. They sent Devin Bush on a blitz one time. He ran right by Josh Allen.
Oh my God, that play! My son was watching it with me, and he was watching that play, and he goes, "What was that?"
Tell your son we'd all like to know, brother. We'd all like to know what the hell that was. It's just.
He goes, "It's like he didn't even see him. He just kept running past him." I was like, "Yeah, I don't know. I really don't. I don't know how to explain it. Just Space Cadet out there, man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Big time. All right, so let's wrap that defense up on that note. Offense, there's some things to, Kenny Pickett looked pretty good today. 34 for 52, 327 for his first game starting. Another interception. I'd like him to be a little more careful with the ball. Some of his other passes were like, you kind of hold your breath a little bit, like, oh, shit. Okay, good. He's scary a little bit. But
yeah, he almost tied Mitch Trubisky's yards total in 4 games today.
He probably did, right?
It's close.
Close, right? In at least 2 games. Man, Pickens again, good game. Those two, they can build. This offense can build around those 2 guys. That's going to be a nice combination for.
I'm at a point where I think our best wide receiver is Pickens.
At this point, it's a question. It's not
at
a
this
question.
Point. I think he's the best wide receiver on the team. He's the only one. He's the only one that makes contested catches, the easy catches, the hard. Yeah. He's the only one who's consistent.
Imagine throwing to him. Imagine throwing the ball to him like Trubisky refused to do.
Like what the fuck? Like it doesn't make any sense. None.
It took Mike Tomlin 4 games to figure that out.
Yep. And I with Kenny Pickett, we'd be in a much better situation record-wise. We would have, I think, at least 2 wins, maybe 3, and we would have been way better off going into this murder's row of games.
Absolutely.
Like, it's just a shame. It's a shame. But yeah, dude, Kenny, he looked the part. I mean, how many times did he drive them down to the 30-yard line?
Yeah, they just
and he would have had. I think we would have had at least 9 points today if Boswell could make a goddamn field goal. But literally, the play calling is what really held them back today, in my opinion. Absolutely. And the receivers, and the dropped fucking passes.
Well, that's next on my list.
Claypool and DJ. What in the fuck? But DJ makes these crazy catches.
Yes, I know.
That you're like, how the fuck did you do that? Yeah, they don't count because one foot's never fucking in. And it's like, how do you do that? But on catches for first downs that are thrown right to you, like the 4th and 6, a dime thrown right to him, and he fucking somehow still drops it. Like, I just...
He's becoming real frustrating. I was his biggest supporter, but I'm ready to jump off ship. Did you see the, I think it was Nick Farber I had on Twitter, Deontay Johnson's career, and it was a picture of a roller coaster? It's perfect. That's what he's up here. He makes a great catch. The next minute he's dropping an easy one.
Yeah, that was a picture of Still Country, the roller coaster.
Was it? It's
Still Country. Yep.
Deontay Johnson to a T. You just don't know what you're going to get from him from one play to the next.
I'm sorry, the Steel Curtain, I think that's what they call the ride. But yeah, that's what that was. I laughed when I saw that. I was like, that's funny. Yeah, but literally, it's
and now Muth with those concussions. That's scary.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to play next game.
I don't think so either. I wouldn't play him. I'd give him a couple weeks off. That guy's too valuable for the future. Get him right.
They said that I was just thinking of injuries, and they said that TJ Watt had that knee thing like 9 days ago, and that has no effect on his timetable whatsoever for this. Mike Thomas said he has 4 to 6 weeks. When it's ready, the idea is he'll be back. Is that what he said in the conference? I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
That's exactly what he said. Yep. So that's good.
I thought he was going to flip out when they asked that, because it's like, we just got done with this game. Why the fuck are you asking me about TJ Watt? Like, I'm thinking as a coach, we just got our ass whooped. And the first thing out of your mouth is, what do you think TJ Watt's coming back?
Well, that's what everyone's thinking and praying. When's TJ coming back, please?
I'd be like, bitch, that's the last fucking thing on my mind right now. Like, I'll talk about that maybe at my news conference. Like, I was just, when they asked that question, I'm just like, man, that's a horrible timing to ask that fucking question. But yeah, I'm glad to hear that, but they may have him stay out longer.
I would, man. At this point, what's the point in rushing him back? This season is just about toast now.
The quest for 500, brother.
Yeah,
that's why you bring him back. The quest for 500, because that's what we do now. That's who we are as Steeler fans. Our goal is to be 500, so we can say, "Yay, another year of no losing seasons." Yeah. That's what this is fucking become anymore.
We'll replace the Super Bowl trophies with no losing season flags. And
our prediction was what? I said 8-9. You said 9-8.
I did say 9-8.
How you feeling about that?
I'm not feeling good about it at all, brother. I'm feeling like this is going to be a top 5 draft pick.
I'm feeling like I was way off too. Yeah. They're ranked number 1 right now, right? They're the top draft pick.
First overall pick right now. Yep. If the season ended today.
Speaking of first round picks, how can Rooney,
well, they won't finish like that.
How?
They won't finish like that. We talked about the second half of this. They'll end up 6-11, 7 whatever it is, 7-10. And it will be just close. So they can bring everybody back and run it again.
Yep. Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen.
First round picks, dude. Najee Harris. It's time to be concerned about this guy. 11 rushes for 20 yards today.
Did you see Jaylen Warren?
Yeah.
Did you see Warren had half the carries, but had more yards rushing than he did? It is night and day when Warren is out there. Warren is explosive, fast. I mean, grinds for the extra yards. Some of the plays he made towards the end there were fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Najee's out there. He's slow, indecisive. It's just not the kid from last year. It's just not.
Maybe, I'm telling you, all those touches takes its toll on players, especially a rookie. He was the offense last year, pretty much.
Did
He did
Tomlin
everything.
break Najee Harris in year one?
I mean,
He
the
broke
over-under
him
was
in
3
year one?
seasons, and he did it in one.
Holy shit. That's a record.
Speaking of first-round picks, like I said, it got me to wondering. Here's the last 6 Steelers first-round picks. Tell me if this is bad or as bad as I think it is. 2016, Artie Burns. Oof.
Oh,
2017, TJ Watt. Home run. 2018, Terrell Edmonds. Yeah. 2019, Devin Bush. Yeah. 2020, they didn't have one. Claypool was a second-round pick. Ugh. Najee Harris, 2021, not looking so good. And obviously Kenny Pickett in 2022. That's 2 out of 6 hit rate at first-round pick. That's not good. That's not
dude,
good.
I'm telling you now, that miss on Artie Burns and Sean Davis.
John Davis, yeah.
Those first 2 rounds, then they picked those 2.
The secondary hasn't recovered still.
If they would have hit, say they do get William Jackson the third, right?
Yeah.
And then say they do hit on a safety pick, they might have went to the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah.
Because then that defense would have been way better to go along with the Killer Bees, right? Because that was that last year of all of them, correct?
Yep.
Dude. But anyways, but
the first round picks, it's taking its toll, man.
This is why you and I and a lot of others said you don't take a running back in the first motherfucking round.
And notice none of those is left tackles or, edge play. There's only one edge player and one corner in there. They're not drafting the premium positions. No defensive tackles in there. It's running backs, it's wide receivers, it's safeties, linebackers. That's not you taking the first round. That's not premium positions, man.
If they draft the guy that KC has, the center, I forget his name.
Yep.
I can't even fathom. I can't even fathom how much better off we would have been.
Yep. There's no doubt. There's absolutely no doubt.
But
all right.
Yeah, I don't know. Right now I'm watching an undrafted free agent outplay him by a mile.
That's my point, Dave. Every week, right? You can find running backs anywhere.
It's just amazing to me that this is what I'm watching right now. Like, he's not healthy. And look, didn't we do a segment? I said what I said a while back. I think you and me did, where Najee needs to sit. Like, he needs to take a game off. Remember?
Yep.
Okay. That might have been my first one, for that segment. But I said it then, and I'll say it now. The kid ain't healthy. There's something fucking wrong. He needs to sit a game or not play as much. Like, let Warren get most of the carries. Because there's some
running back one.
Because I'll say this. Last year, Najee was a really good running back. He had a horrible O-line. He doesn't have the burst. He doesn't have that home run burst that you want in the first round, especially first round. But in general, he was way faster, more burst. He was way better.
Yeah,
not indecisive. This year, something's wrong. It's been wrong, and they need to do something about it. They need to sit him or not give him as many carries, because the guy's not. He's hurting the team. He's not helping the team.
No, he's not helping the team at all. And there's holes there because Jaylen Warren's finding the holes, so we can't blame. I mean, this isn't a prime time offensive line, but it's there are holes there, and he's just not hitting them. No,
I agree. The line was fine. They weren't that bad today.
I mean, Dan Moore. I was going to bring up Dan
Moore. Yeah, Moore had that stupid penalty. I know.
He's not. But I mean, he's not an NFL left tackle, man.
But for the most part, though, they're not doing that bad.
No,
they don't look like they looked in the preseason. I'll put it that way. They don't look like they looked in the preseason. Yeah.
Kenny was running around a lot for his life. He was running around a lot. He was scrambling.
Well, I mean, Von Miller and that Boucher guy. I mean, they're good pass rushers. So I mean, but for the most part, they I think he only got sacked. I think once. That's not right.
I think once or twice, not more than twice, anyway.
Yeah, it was once or twice.
Good on James Daniels for coming to Pickett's aid.
Hell yeah, dude.
That dude went way up in my book for that play.
Yep.
I don't give a shit how many penalty flags they want to throw. You can't let them get away with that shit.
And Hamlin played a pit. Him and
yeah.
Like, I was just like, wow, But how about the one where the guy Shaq Thompson, I think it was.
Yep.
What the fuck was that going for his knee, man? A minute out and you go for his knee, like. So I mean, dude, that was awesome to watch Kenny jump up and push him. I was like, oh okay,
He's a fiery
my
dude. I
man
like
does
it.
play with some fire.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
I was like, okay, that's cool.
Did you
I
see
thought there was going to be a brawl, but
yeah, almost. Almost. Did you see the freaking roughing the passer on Tom Brady?
yes. Is
How
that not
ridiculous is that?
ridiculous?
And we
Guy,
can't get one for a
where do we teach people to tackle, right? We teach kids to tackle at the waist, right?
yep,
Break down, hit the waist, hit and wrap, right? Literally a textbook tackle.
textbook.
But hey,
I mean,
it's
you can't
Tom.
do anything
But
about
hey,
that.
it's Tom Brady. Weird, huh? All of a sudden, it's roughing the
It makes me
passer.
sick.
But Kenny can have a guy drop down and try to nail him in the fucking head,
Yeah.
and
After he slides.
nothing.
And they doubled down on it and said there's no foul after they huddled for like 20 minutes. It's like, are you serious? No one on that staff saw that.
Refs
that
are fucking joke. They're a joke.
Unbelievable. All right, so where do we go from here? I guess the biggest thing you can take out of this is Kenny Pickett and George Pickens. You build around those two. Maybe you get a high draft pick and we go from there. I mean, going forward for this season, you just hope Kenny Pickett gets better and better every week, because I don't see this team going anywhere short of that.
They're gonna have to build around them too. Those two
That's
are
it.
the
Bright
actual bright spots, the future,
Yeah.
the most consistent guys. I mean, Kenny just started, but I mean, in general, I think we know he's the guy. He showed today that he can play. Now, mind you, no touchdowns, no whatever, but we got a reject as a freaking offensive coordinator. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I'd build around those two. But it's not even just that. We got to fix this defense, dude. It's not even the offense. It's the defense too. There's so many problems. There's so many holes. There's so many mistakes that they have made with these players they bring in, whether it be free agents or drafted or whatever.
Yep. It's the same. Well, we can't hope for change. All we can hope for is that TJ Watt comes back 100% healthy and covers everything up for them.
It just sucks that this is what we have to hope for.
Yeah.
Every year, TJ Watt, please God, don't get hurt.
Yeah. I mean,
what kind of shit
football,
is that?
Because he's going to get hurt. I mean,
your defense should not be like this. It shouldn't be where one play. Look at the Buffalo Bills today, dude. They didn't have Edmonds.
Yeah,
they didn't have
injuries.
Poyer.
Yeah.
They didn't have all these guys, and still look what they did. Like, they still only let us put up 3 points. Well coached players show up.
Yep.
And that's the difference.
And if you have a good system and everyone understands their role in that system, then you can have injuries and survive. The Steelers don't have a good system, and they don't know how to coach their players into these systems. So when they have an injury, it's like they're fucking lost, like their first day in school. They don't know what the hell they're doing. It's just, it all goes back to coaching. Poor coaching is killing this team. Period. I don't care what anybody says. And it starts at the top. Mike Tomlin.
No, I agree.
You, buddy.
I'm sorry. They had a shit ton of players not there today, and they still put up 37, only allowed us to score 3. I'm sorry. That there should say a lot. And I get it. It's the Buffalo Bills. They're a very talented team, but it doesn't matter. Their star player got hurt, and they didn't buckle. Like, we lose ours, and it's like the whole world comes crashing down, and we can't do anything without TJ Watt. No team should be like this. None.
Not one player centric where everything falls apart when he's off the field, because and we've been screaming since the preseason. If that's the case, you need to draft somebody early to be a replacement in case he does get hurt. You need to be deep at that position. If that's the key to your whole defense is a pass rush from that side, you can't have freaking Jameer Jones as your backup.
Right. And they didn't draft for it. They didn't draft for it. They didn't. I mean, they traded for Malik Willis. That was. I'm sorry, Reed. I'm sorry, Reed.
Malik Reed. Yeah.
Malik Reed.
Yeah, he's
they traded
too,
for Malik Reed, and I mean, Denver, a 6th or 7th was good enough for them to be like, yeah, man, he can go.
We should have known that. As soon as we saw that, you're giving a pass rusher away for a 6th-round pick. He's got to be garbage. He has to be.
But I just, a lot of these moves they've made have been wrong, man. They've missed the mark. A lot of their draft picks have been off.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
It's been bad.
I thought they were drafting good, but as it turns out, it hasn't
I'll
been
tell you what though. I'll tell you what though, man. Next week, I will say this, just to give a little bit of positivity to this. Next week could be fun though. If TJ Watt comes back, that could be fun. If Terrell Edmonds is back, that could be a little bit better on the backside of the defense.
Yeah, anybody to get back.
Yeah. Calvin Austin might get his first
Possibly.
helmets. Okay. Sims hopefully isn't a Pirate still by the end of the week. So hopefully he can fucking play more. So there's still some bright spots maybe to look forward to next week that maybe look, Tampa Bay barely beat Atlanta tonight, and they got lucky. It was the roughing the passer call was what saved them. Now, am I saying the Steelers are going to win? No, I'm not saying that. I don't think they can beat anybody right now. That's the way I look at it. Yeah. But they are going to get some people back that could really help. Well, I'm hoping. Yeah.
We hope.
Hopefully they get people back that could help.
They need at least Edmonds to play because that's huge.
Yes. They got
Edmonds is no
Edmonds
superstar, but he understands the system and he knows where he's supposed to be.
Yes.
And that
him and Minka pair well together.
Yes. I don't know if we're going to get Cam Sutton healthy next week.
No.
Those hamstrings, man.
I'm praying to God that we get at least Witherspoon back. Can we get Witherspoon back at least?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it'll be 3 weeks. By the time he plays, it'll be 3 weeks. I'd like to think that should be enough time. Maybe. I don't know.
They don't give us any information about how he's doing.
It depends on the grade of the strain. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. But yeah, dude, like they have to, I hope they get some of these guys back so that maybe next week.
Defense is good.
Tampa's
defense is legit.
So, yeah, they got to get, hopefully they get some of these guys back. God willing, please get TJ Watt back. Him, and I really want to see it. And I really want to see Calvin Austin. I want to see Calvin Austin bad. And here's another thing. Spillane is so bad. Is it really going to kill them to get Robinson some reps? Can my man get a fucking helmet? Please let him get a helmet. It cannot be any. What's that?
This is the plan to like redshirt him the whole season. I think I'm starting to think that.
I can't believe it. Like you can't get any worse with Spillane out there. Right? Like
well, he's not going to play Spillane's role. I shouldn't say never. He's not the third down guy. Hopefully we're not going to see him out wide covering Diggs or something like, you know what I'm saying?
But at this point, whatever. I would like to see him get a helmet and get some reps out there.
Oh, definitely. And I wouldn't argue with that. Definitely.
At this point, I mean, if you're going to put Spillane out there in coverage on Diggs, for God's sakes, like, I don't know, dude. This is just, this is so stupid. Like, I can't believe it. My eyes see it at moments. I'm just like.
It was only 48 hours ago, the last podcast, where I was like, well, there may be a silver lining. Maybe they could pick off a couple of these games. Now I have my serious doubts that they pick off any of these next 3 games now.
No, I don't think so either. I don't unless something crazy happens.
Injuries and the defense regressing, and granted, Pickett's going to get better and better, but as he gets better, this defense is getting worse. Honestly, I think they're going to be really, really cautious with TJ. I think maybe the Philly game is the game we'll see him, like a couple games to let him rest. I don't know. I've never seen a player come back from a torn pec mid-season, so I don't know.
Well, you got to remember, his wasn't it wasn't off of the bone or whatever the fuck. So it might be why it's 4 to 6 weeks. It'll be 5 weeks completely, but from the time that. Right? Yeah, it'll be 5 weeks. So it's right in the middle of that time frame. Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. Like I said, I would just like to see him come back. It'd be awesome if he comes back along with a couple guys like Calvin Austin. I would really like to see it happen. But at this moment, I don't have them winning any games for the next 3 or 4. I don't have them either.
There's a good possibility they're going to be 1. I keep going back and forth on this. I don't mean to be so wishy-washy, but yeah, there's a good possibility they're going to be 1-7 at the break.
Now the Dolphins did lose to the Jets today.
Yeah, they lost. They lost with a concussion too. So now.
I know, because I had him as my starting quarterback on my fantasy teams. I didn't play. I didn't play Kyle Murray because he's going against Philly. So I I went and added Bridgewater, put him in my starting position at QB in my one league. And then I looked and it said out of the game with concussion. I'm like, no, I went and looked 0 points. I was like, well, taking the L today in this league. But yeah, dude. So, but yeah, no, I mean, Dolphins are the only ones that I can realistically see that maybe we got a chance.
Yeah, if Tua's not back and playing better. I mean,
no, I mean only if Tua's not back. If Tua's back, we're gonna get smashed. Yeah. So
those wide receivers against our secondary.
Is
Tyreek Hill and
he's hurt though?
Did he get hurt?
I think he got hurt today. I saw something that showed he got hurt.
I didn't see it, but it's possible. Even so, they still got Jalen Waddle and Gesicki and.
Well, I thought I saw something. I'd have to go back. I saw something where it was either. There's all the Bills highlights. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't want to see that anymore.
No.
I record every game on the TV, and I want to go back. I usually go back and watch. I'm like, I need a couple days to go back and watch this thing. It's brutal.
Yeah, it's rough, man. I can't find it anywhere. But yeah, I could have sworn it said that Tyreek got hurt.
It's still 3 weeks away though, so he could be back too, conceivably. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
Unless it's a real serious one.
So I don't. I don't have it on here. I can't find it, but I don't know, dude. I'm just gonna try to. I'm hoping that fucking Tomlin comes in Tuesday and goes, we have let go of Matt Canada.
I would love it, but I can't see it. They don't fire coaches in the middle of the season. They never do. I mean,
they should try it
because they haven't been 1-4. Yeah, that's a good idea, right? Hey, give it a shot, Mike. You might like it. God.
But yeah.
Yep. But I mean, I think that'll wrap it up for today. That's all the doom and gloom I think we can take for one podcast. I mean, we'll come back midweek, start talking about the Buccaneers and stuff. But for now, it's 1-4 and pain, right? Just straight pain.
And another post-mortem podcast.
Yeah, that's going to be the title again. Unfortunately, it's like 4 or 5 in a row. You can find me on Twitter at SteelersSank16. You can find check us out on YouTube, Steelers Sanctuary. We got a lot of good stuff on there. Email the show at daver@SteelersSanctuary.com. Dave, you got your Twitter handle?
M_Corb.
All right. Until probably Wednesday, we'll talk to you later.